Bridgewater College is calling what happened here today an unspeakable tragedy. These are some of the trees that just moments ago were on the street. They are stuffing these boxes inside the truck with mostly medical supplies. Well, this sudden announcement is really the latest in what has been a series of twists and turns that has raised concerns over police leadership. You can see behind us the cars are already lined up, hoping for their turn, hoping they get a test. But here's the thing, some of them may be leaving tonight without one. Later this afternoon, Albemarle County Board of Supervisors will consider a bill that would prohibit and ban firearms on county-owned properties. That includes buildings like these. Of course, there are other goals for the kids. The end mission is to get them back with their birth parents, if and when it's appropriate. Nearly 100 years after these statues were unveiled, discussions to take them down picked up.
We will not be bullied. We will not be pushed away.
City Councilor Wes Bellamy called for the Lee statue to be removed with the support of a popular petition started by then-teenager Ziona Bryant. With support from fellow councilor Kristen Zakis already established, City Council voted 3-2 to remove the Lee statue in February 2017.
It's 3-2.
That's when legal battles began. The city was sued by several people hoping to keep the statues up. And then,
America's a white country!
White supremacist KKK members marched through Charlottesville
Shame! Shame!
in July of 2017. 1 month later, the infamous Unite the Right rally, where violent white supremacists and neo-Nazis came to Charlottesville, leading to the murder of Heather Heyer. 3 years later, state government had its say on the future of Confederate statues when the legislature passed a law that allows local governments to decide what to do with statues. Then, in April of this year, the Virginia Supreme Court ended any legal debate.
This is a fight and a battle that you don't win in a day. You don't win in a week. You don't win in a year.
The last hurdle was seemingly a formality.
Mayor Walker? Yes.
City Council voted unanimously in June to remove the statues again. This time it's going to happen. It's a full circle moment for those involved in its looming removal since the beginning. Here's Bryant during virtual public comment just before the vote to get rid of the Confederate symbols.
And there's no opportunity left to straddle the fence. Which side of history do you want to be on? Which kind of ancestor do you all wish to be?
Both school districts released statements on Monday with clear reasoning. CDC guidance and state law is making them stay with the mitigation measure.
Yes, I am.
Before Governor Youngkin took office, the Virginia General Assembly passed a law, SB 1303, which says school districts must follow CDC recommendations. That's how 2 of them are defending their decisions now.
Unless the law changes, it's pretty clear cut what we have to do.
Phil Giramita is the spokesperson for Albemarle County Public Schools. He says the district consulted with attorneys who said its position is safe. Giramita says it's also important.
The mask wearing has been a really central part of our mitigation strategies from the beginning, and which have worked very well.
Meanwhile, Charlottesville City Schools is holding firm as well. In a statement, Superintendent Royal Gurley and School Board Chair Lisa Larson-Torres said, "We reaffirm our commitment to masking and other mitigation strategies." How does the fact that the city is keeping the mask policies, how does that make you feel about your level of safety in the schools?
I have felt supported by my school system this entire year. They're listening to teacher input, they're listening to the majority of what the parents want, they're listening to the experts.
That's Emily Thomas Waters, an orchestra teacher at Walker Upper Elementary. She's an alum of the city school system, now teaching. She says her students are comfortable in masks and understand the importance of them. And a big reason why she's happy with the district is her belief that this will help keep schools in person.
It's super important to me that we continue in-person learning, and it seems like that's what everyone wants, and the way to do that is to keep our masks on.
You just heard from Emily Thomas Waters. She said on a personal level, she's 8 months pregnant. Both she and her husband are teachers, and being in masked areas can keep them safest and hopefully COVID-free before one of the most important days of their lives. I got a chance to talk with both of them about how they would manage COVID as governor, and while their approaches are different, they are both urging Virginians to get their vaccination. With the Delta variant raging and cases rising, COVID is here to stay, and it's certainly an issue voters will consider at the ballot box. But both Terry McAuliffe and Glenn Youngkin hope when they do cast their votes, they'll be vaccinated.
Every single individual needs to get the vaccination. The only way we're going to end this pandemic, the only way, is if we get people vaccinated.
The best way for people to be safe in Virginia is to go get the vaccine. And I would encourage everybody to go get it. Again, I wouldn't mandate it, but I would encourage everyone to go get it.
The concept of mandates is where the two rivals differ. McAuliffe is calling on all healthcare providers to require the shot.
I want to build the strongest economy in the globe. You cannot do that if this pandemic continues to ravage your workforce and cause all of those issues.
Youngkin says he's against mandates and that he'll leave masking and vaccination decisions up to each company.
We're not going to have some businesses that are allowed to be open and others that are closed. We're going to keep everybody open, and we're going to let businesses decide how best to conduct their business when they're open.
Youngkin says he's the one who will take care of both lives and livelihoods, and he will not shut down the Commonwealth. But McAuliffe pushing back on Youngkin's COVID recovery economic strategies.
You look at my plan, I'm going to lift everybody up. Record investments in education. So I did it before. We'll do it again.
And as for schools, McAuliffe wants to follow CDC guidance. Youngkin says masking decisions should not be mandated from Richmond.
So I would strongly encourage the local school districts to allow the students and their families to make those decisions on their behalf, because it should be up to parents.
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Dozens were chanting.
Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot!
And they were marching as they walked across Waynesboro with a message that they shared just minutes before at Constitution Park.
They need to see us. They need to hear us.
Because the power of the people don't stop.
So they were loud until the end. That's when the marchers gathered to speak and then stay silent. For 9 minutes, on a knee, organizers said if you want to kneel on the grass, it may be more comfortable. A protester responded, the concrete is where George Floyd's head was, and the kneel continued.
What do we want? Body cam. What do we want? Body cam.
The march was just the beginning of the action these women wanted to see. Malika Muse is a mother whose biggest fear is something happening to one of her children. Children who have asked her tough questions for the past year.
The one question that they often ask is why are things this way?
The answer to that, she says, is systemic. That's why Kayla Ross is encouraging everyone, especially young people, to take steps towards solutions.
They're so quick to pull out a phone and to videotape, and it's unfortunate, but they can't always jump in. They can't always help. But there are other things. We need to go to our city council meetings.
While political action is a goal, conversations will have to continue.
I think it's imperative for them to understand that it's possible that it can happen. I think it's imperative for them to know that not every officer is their enemy. And in the midst of it, we have to, unfortunately, teach them precautions.
In Waynesboro, Max Marcilla, NBC 29 News.